Our next actor hit the scene in the late 1990s. I met him in the year 2000 as he was one of the stars of the groundbreaking Latino-themed primetime series Resurrection Boulevard. Now, he went on to continued success in hit shows like American Family, the rebooted Melrose Place, Pretty Little Liars, Being Mary Jane. He even was a bad guy on How to Get Away with Murder. Just last month, this is terrific, he was honored by the National Hispanic Media Coalition for his outstanding performance as Dr. Neil Melendez on The Good Doctor. So let's all say congratulations to Nicholas Gonzalez. Do you have any almosts along the way?
I mean, I think the acting profession is full of almosts, you know. I mean, I've certainly dedicated my my adult life to kind of becoming an actor and kind of the graft and, you know, the almost misses and the almost opportunities and just got to keep going and, you know, and then you find yourself on an amazing show like this with some amazing people and amazing writing, you know, and, but yeah, it's, there are a lot of similarities, I think, between me and Claire. I think she's probably harder and more driven than I am, but like, you know, I respect her as a character so much. She's incredible, and yeah, I've worked hard too to be where I am, and I'm so happy to be here.
I'm telling you, this audience is better than the Oscar audience, and I was in the Oscar audience, but way up there. So never appeared on camera. Talked about working hard. I think about you, Nicholas, because you're always working hard. I remember in 2000, Resurrection Boulevard, you were so excited to talk about it. I interviewed you for a movie called Water and Power, a very low-budget film. We met at a bar somewhere where they were doing the press day, and you were just as excited. But then I interviewed you for this show, and I think it's the most excited I've ever seen you and the most appreciative I've ever seen you. Why did you know? Because you knew that this was something. You can't say writing.
I know, it's like everybody's already said that, but I mean, that was the first thing. I mean, if we want to talk about how we knew from the beginning.
If that's the answer, then say that's the answer.
You know, because pilot season comes around and
but
you've
it was
got
like
a lot to read.
But it was like you were a new actor reading something for the first time. It was so magical to you.
Well, because this is, to me, I believe that, you know, I've been doing this, you know, it's funny, I'm like twice Freddie's age, but we've been acting the same amount of time. very different sorts of projects, but it's like, this doesn't come along often. You know, whether it's the adulation from fans, but even just the satisfaction of this job. One of the things that I'm eternally grateful is that, you know, the powers that be on this show over here to our right, you know, were very adamant on who they brought into this job, you know, and put this cast of characters together, not just for, you know, our abilities, but ideally looking ahead and hoping we'd work well together. And I have to say that the way that this has all worked out and this opportunity to have great writing, that's what he said. I mean, I've spent my career, a big chunk of it with writing that sometimes was you know, subpar, or I didn't feel was, you know, great. But I mean, that's part of this job. You know, there's so many things that come along, there's so many opportunities, but at the same time, you pay your dues, you know, and you put out a lot of work and you learn. And I feel that so much of that came so we could do this show, you know, and it puts you in a particular place to be ready when you are handed good work. You know, constantly. People ask, you know, what do you want for Melendez next season? And, you know, we spent, you know, on the red carpet answering that question. And honestly, like, I feel like I've been in such good hands that each time I open the script, I'm excited to see what's going to be there. And I'm excited for the path that this character has, because these are fully fleshed out characters. These are three-dimensional, diverse characters. You look at this group, that's what was so special about it. We all looked at each other. I remember at the end of the pilot, exhausted, freezing cold in that warehouse in Vancouver, and we said, they're never going to let us do this. They're never going to let us do this. We're having way too much fun. The work that and the dedication that everybody here on stage has put together, I never thought they'd let us do it. So yeah, I'm on cloud nine, and this is, I think, the culmination of so many things for a lot of us, and to all be here at this moment together with this beautiful show. Nice. Blessed.
Freddie, I remember in the very, and I hope she pays you back. All right, this is the question, Nick, that's been driving me crazy. No. That tattoo of yours has become a character on the show, and you won't tell us the backstory. I know there is a backstory.
And the more you ask, George, the less of an answer is going to come, I'm telling you.
Who wants to know about that tattoo?
David's regretting it. That's what I'll tell you. I'll tell you one thing, is David Shore is regretting the tattoo now. That's
Here, I can tell you this, when you came to me and started talking about the tattoo, you start talking about the location of the tattoo, and you go right here, and I expect you to pull your shirt over, and he just pulls his shirt right off. And I was impressed. Whatever tattoo you want to put on there.
So there's no answer to that yet?
You know, it's, actually there was a draft where there was an explanation for it, and there's been multiple references sometimes that we've in turn gleaned out sometimes, where it's just, I feel like it's something important, and I know for me and for Melendez, parts of it, I feel like there's some backstory that, you know, hopefully we have a long way to go. And, you know, I think that everyone's so anxious about people to hook up and for tattoos to be revealed and all these kind of things. It's like, and I get it, because, you know, our favorite shows sometimes aren't here, but hopefully we will be, and these answers will come. But it's the same thing like with romantic, you know, romantic possibilities and things that people kind of, oh no, you're there. Hi. I didn't see you, I didn't know you were there. You know, I think that's the way this show is also kind of like the way life is, you know, like Andrews isn't a bad guy, right, so he says. But, you know, we all, it's the way life kind of really functions. There's attractions, there's when we get to understand each other and have close moments, but it doesn't always mean that things are gonna come from there or they're gonna come soon. You know, I don't know. But the tattoo, yeah, the tattoos, you know.
Okay, we'll wait. I'm patient.
It seems everybody wants to know, I wish I'd.
Freddie, this is a question just for me as a viewer, and I'm curious to know how it reflects with you and the actors, because actors will often tell me how they're. For the five of you on the other side of Freddie, raise your hand if it is a little bit harder to do a scene like that. No?
For me it is, because I'm always trying to get, like, look at me. So I'm moving. He's over there. I'm like, hey man. It's hard. It's hard. It's like, look at me, man. Look at me.
But in other ways, it plays into it though too, because I mean, it's a very, like, when people ask about, hey, what's it like working with Freddie Highmore and those kind of things, and about the performance, to me, and I think I speak for, you know, because we all talk about you behind your back. This is a living, breathing performance. It's Dr. Sean Murphy lives, and I watch him grow, I watch him learn. That's my job as his attending. And so when that's happening, there are all the same questions that Melendez would have in his head. The same, are you listening to me? Are you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? You know, when do I know that he's understanding, and when don't I? And so for a lot of us, it plays into it. It's non-traditional, but, you know, so is this show in many ways.
As long as we keep getting, I mean, that's it. I mean, there's a temptation sometimes to get drawn into.
So these other panels this week, I've noticed, have given scoops to their audiences, and I know you don't want to disappoint all of these people here, so I'm sure that David or Daniel will be telling us something about what we can look ahead to for next season.
We just aired the episode.
I'm talking about
4
next
days
season.
in
I'm
advance.
stingy.
That's already gone. That's past. That's been tweeted out, and it's, you know, next.
Sean's gonna go jet skiing or something.
Do you have any plans to bring in a new character?
We brought in some new characters towards the end of the season, and we enjoyed them.
And all the people
I'm
that you
just
didn't
like-
pick. Freddie Highmore didn't pick me.
I mean, the first guy I saw with his hand up on the aisle there, it was like one of the first hands. So
Okay.
go ahead.
Thank you. Just
please.
want to say congratulations to you guys on your success. My name's AJ Billions. Casting process, you mentioned the casting process. So I'm just curious, were any of you just offered the role because like it was kind of written for you, or did you all audition for the role? And then during the audition, how'd you prepare for your audition? And then once you got the role, how'd you kind of do the backstory on your character?
I think that's
I'll take this one. No, I'm kidding.
of that question. There's about 87 questions.
Who's I get well.
Richard's face.
This will be like the end of the Q&A as we all go through and describe the. I guess for me,
And then Nick jumped on it, Antonia jumped on it.
We did do that.
We didn't have a driver. I was pushing it as fast as I could down the hallway, and then it ended up crashing.
that was very naughty.
We did do that.
Yeah, we did that.
So there is some fun being had that one time.
Yeah, just that one.
You know, also, I just want to recognize somebody who's here, Kobe Bird. You stand up.
Who was in an episode?
A very important episode.
Why don't go ahead and explain it because it's a big deal.
Go ahead.
David, you want to?
Go for it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think one of the main things we also get to is people say, you know, when are you going to have an actor with autism on the show? And when are you going to, you know, faithfully? A lot of people love to ask questions, and some people that don't even watch the show. Most of those questions come from people that don't watch, because once you watch, you see, you know, all the consideration that's taken in the show. But it's very important that we had an actor and someone that has autism, and I think he did a brilliant job. And to this day, he's still in touch with Kobe. And we all keep in touch with Kobe, and we were all moved by his performance. He's an excellent actor. And definitely deserves the shout-out. But it was very important to have that portrayal, and he ran away with it. It was such a great job, brother.
Okay.
Thank you.
Richard, I want you to think about this long and hard. I want you to look out in the audience, left to right. This is the last question of the evening. Who gets to ask it?
The woman in the red, way in the back.
The woman in the red, way in the back. Is that
Yeah, the
Over
one that's
there?
hands up.
Yeah, jumping up and down, I think.
She's been jumping up and down for about an hour and a half.
So I have a question for Antonia. I'm an actress. So I have a question. So for like being a doctor and like doing all these surgeries and that stuff, I just want to know how you portrayed that in the audition room.
Well, in the audition room, I don't think we had any surgery scenes, thankfully, because I hadn't at that point done my research, and so I wouldn't have been able to know what I was doing. Yeah, we didn't do the surgery scenes in the audition room, but I think it was. I can't remember what my audition scene was. Do you remember, David? It was.
Do you?
Wasn't it the one with us walking down the hallway?
Yeah, we did that.
That was
It's-
cut from
Oh
the
yeah, it was
episode.
actually.
It wasn't in the episode.
She stunk it up so bad. they
The
cut it from
audition,
pilot.
the audition scene was a very medical jargon-filled scene. I think it was sort of like, can you do this? And especially because I was doing it with the American accent, it was especially a tongue twister. So I
A
had
very
to-
good American accent.
Thanks, Daniel.
I would like to say to all of you, what a polite audience you've been, and a really intelligent audience. You've asked some great questions tonight, and I'd like to say thank you for being here, and then we also want to thank our panel, Tamlin, Hill, Richard, Antonia, Nicholas, Freddie, Daniel, and David. Good night.